pray for the Anthony family because they have been legally lynched for the last year. We have an overzealous prosecutor who lied throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses in order to be a saving grace for the white community so that they can win an election.
Win an election? What is she talking about? What election? Like the midterms? I have no idea what she's talking about. I don't think she does either. And was it really an overzealous prosecutor who lied? Well, let's find out. Let's ask that prosecutor. Greg Willis is the Collin County District Attorney. DA Willis, we appreciate you being here. How do you respond to that, being called an overzealous prosecutor who called liars to the witness stand? 21 liars, I guess.
Well, I've been called a lot of things in my time as DA, so I don't worry about that. What I do worry about is, did we follow the process? Did we follow the law? Did we present the evidence? And in this case, that's what happened. I mean, there were, oh my gosh, maybe 18 or 19 eyewitnesses, several of whom were African-American teenagers, and they all testified that this was an unprovoked stabbing. And so I understand people have to play to their audiences, and I assume that's what the congressman is doing. But as far as the process in the courtroom, it was airtight, and it was clear that Karmelo Anthony, in unprovoked fashion, stabbed Austin Metcalf through the heart and killed him.
Couple just yes or no questions. I know the answer to the first one, but have you ever prosecuted a white person and sent that person to jail before?
Many times.
Okay. Austin Metcalf had several black teammates who testified on his behalf, including black coaches. Is that accurate?
That's very accurate.
Can you tell us about the jury in this case? Because according to the Anthony family spokesman who was on this show 2 nights ago, it was an all-white jury. Is that true?
Well, I guess it depends on how you define all white. It was a mixed race jury. There were South Asians on there. There was a Middle Eastern woman on there. There was a couple other nationalities. So it was a mixed race jury. And I guess they can get away with calling it all white.
Yeah, there were minorities on the jury, though, clearly. Does the defense typically have a hand in selecting a jury?
Yes, they get as many strikes as we have, and the judge follows the law, and both parties have 10 strikes they can use, and but you can't use it for a prohibited reason. And obviously race is one of the prohibited reasons. And so if someone gets struck that is a member of a protected class, then the other side raises the issue, and the judge listens to the reasons. And if the reasons are race neutral, then the judge approves it.
Why weren't there any African Americans on this jury?
I mean, part of it is just, in the strike zone, when the people come up for jury selection, who are the first 30, who are the first 40, who are the first 50. And I know that the defense will use that as an appeal point, just because, there's only so many things that you can appeal. And so that'll get worked out on appeal. But I'm not worried about it because I was in the courtroom every single minute of every single hour of every single day. And I know that we did everything proper. And I'm absolutely proud, not just of what we did, but of all these teenager witnesses coming in and cooperating fully despite all the noise and testifying truthfully.
Let me ask you.
In addition to that.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Just in the interest of time, sir. Why didn't Karmelo Anthony testify in his own defense? I don't understand that as somebody who's not an attorney, but I've covered this stuff for years.
Well, you'd have to ask him. It is unusual when someone is claiming self-defense for them not to testify. In this particular case, the judge still allowed the self-defense jury charge in there. And so he still got that benefit. The jury had the option of evaluating his self-defense claim, as well as a sudden passion claim, as well as knocking it down to a manslaughter.
Yeah.
And, they voted unanimously that this was murder.
Okay. And race, in your opinion, did not play any role in this prosecution. Is that accurate?
That is absolutely accurate.
I suppose that was a leading question, but answer it as you will. By the way, did Karmelo Anthony have a public defender?
No, he had a private defender.
Okay.
He had 2 excellent attorneys They're well known in the North Texas area. They are heavy hitters. They absolutely know what they're doing.
Okay. Mr. District Attorney, we appreciate you being here. I wish that Collin County and the rest of Texas wasn't as inflamed as it is right now. It's remarkable to me that this is going on. Again, a white person was killed. Karmelo Anthony is still alive, and he will get out of jail at some point, maybe as soon as the next 15 or 17 years. Greg Willis, we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.